Is my LA hat straight or is it crooked?
It don't matter.
I'm asking you, look. Asking my ambiance. It's on you.
You go.
I don't even know what I'm saying.
Intro.
What's going on, you guys? This is a more serious conversation. We have an announcement to make. Kishana is actually going to do the intro because I'm not doing the intro. I was like,
you said something that I don't even know.
No, you're gonna do the intro. You got it. That was it.
All right, you guys. So this has been a long-awaited video. Most of you know Gary and I's story a little bit. We're not. Okay, one more time. All right, you guys, so we wanted to bring you guys a special video. Most of you know Gary and I's backstory about our relationship, but this is a topic that we wanted to share and talk about. But since we are married now, we can have this conversation to everyone who may be struggling or thinking about taking this journey.
Bruh.
And that is waiting to have sex until marriage. So we're gonna be talking about different
She waited, I didn't.
Anyway,
I'm just
we're
putting
gonna be talking about the different phases of our relationship, kind of going back to why I made the decision to wait and why he had to wait to be with me.
I didn't have to do anything.
But you did.
I chose to.
Okay, he chose to wait
There you go.
to be with me. And then how do we get through it when we were dating? And then what is it like now since we're on the other side of marriage life? So, starting off, the reason I made the decision to not have sex until marriage was from high school. Most people think it's a religious decision. Are you gonna be in front right now?
I was literally about to take a picture of you.
Oh, okay. I was like, if you go on Instagram one more time.
I wasn't gonna go on Instagram, I was gonna take a picture of you.
Okay, you can take all the pictures.
Go ahead.
So, most people think it's a religious decision on why I waited, but that is completely not the case, like at all. The reason why I waited was because I was in high school and my friend Carlos, we had rode the bus together because we lived like literally down the street from each other. But I was walking down the hallway and I see a group of guys like looking at me. I knew who they were, looking at me, and I can tell they were talking about me. So I was just like, okay, that's weird. So we get on the school bus and Carlos is like, hey, did you see, those guys in the hallway? It's like, yeah, like what were they talking about? And he said they're putting out bets with each other and one of them was on you. And I was like, on me? And they're saying let's see who can get with Kishana first.
People actually put bets on women like that?
Gary, you are a boy.
I'm a man.
A man who once was a boy.
But I never in my life.
It may not be in the bet, but you
Never.
probably said some things.
Who do you think I am? Okay, get back to your story.
Anyway, to see who can get with me. And then I stomached that for a little bit. And I was like, okay. And then I remember before me and mom having a conversation and she was telling me, this is how she described sex to me, or being sexually active. She said, let's say you have sex with this person and you have sex with this person and you have sex with this person. Each time you have sex, you're giving a little piece of you to each person. So when you find the person who you want to spend the rest of your life with, what do you have left to give him?
Nothing.
And that kind of just sat back in my head. My mom never once told me to wait. She never once, how can I say it? She was just kind of giving me advice on sex. It was my decision if I wanted to wait or not. But with my mom's story, and then what my friend told me about these guys in high school, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait to have sex until I get married. Because if I wait and however long we date for, if that person is willing to wait for me, that means they truly love me.
That's facts.
And if they don't try and do any compromises, cheat on me throughout our relationship, then that's who I'm meant to be with the rest of my life. And I figured I made up in my head that I wanted my husband to be completely selfish when it comes to me, meaning he gets to say I have what no other man has ever had before. So it was just like I really get to fully give him everything, if that makes sense. Give him not even just my love, but literally just like my body. It's like, here, like you waited for me, so now I get to give you everything. I get to share with you what I'm trying to say. You kind of get what I'm trying to say?
I understand. Like, I'm here with you.
I get to give you everything now because you gave everything to me when we were waiting. Because that was a big commitment. It is a big commitment to wait to have sex until you get married. So that was my backstory. But I did date before I met Gary, and I could really see how hard it is for guys to not have sex with relationships. My ex-boyfriend, it would literally bother him that we weren't having sex. And at first he was kind of cool with my decision, but he always thought in the back of his head that, okay, she's gonna break. Like, it could be a month into a relationship, maybe 3 months, maybe a year, but I never broke. And we would literally argue all the time about sex, and I was like, okay, like this is getting kind of like draining. Like, I should not feel guilty for my decision to wait.
Yep.
And then let's say we broke up in November, and
December, January, February, and the greatest month of ever, March, when she
4
met
months
me.
later I met Gary.
Yes,
and then
sir.
you can kind of go from there.
So we were talking for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. We're not too specific on dates, but long story short, she hits me up one early morning, preferably a late night, at like 12 or 1, and says, hey, can I come over? I'm like, yeah, you can come over. Like, this is it. It's game time. Green light means go. Put me in the game, coach. So the house that I lived in had like a front gate. So I go to unlock the front gate when she tells me she's here. So, but she's leaving her car, walking to the front gate. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my God, hold on, wait. Doing the mental checklist. Fellas, you do the 6-second scan to see what they got on, right? Uh-oh, leggings. Uh-oh, flannel. Uh-oh, hair tied up. She even took her contacts out. She had the glasses on.
And house shoes.
And house shoes.
Because it is a 1 a.m. Like, I'm not about to get all dolled up to go anywhere. First of all, let me tell you this. I'm from Mississippi. And the people who are from Mississippi, you know, you see any and everything inside the grocery store. People still have their rollers in. They have robes on. It don't matter. So that's how I roll. So
Anyway.
I'm not about to get dressed
Anyway.
and get out of my house at 1 a.m. for nobody.
Anyway.
I come, let's say, I come as I am. How they say for church,
Okay.
Come as you are.
I bet you wouldn't wear that outfit to church.
That's different though.
Come as you are. So long story short, man, I did the mental checklist. She's got that on. I already know what that means. This is the proverbial freakum dress. This is the it's finna go down. I already know exactly what's about to happen. The way she's dressed, it's about to go down. So I'm like, cool, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna hop in the car with her. We're gonna drive up to the top of the mountains and overlook the city, you know, setting a little romance, you know. I'm not too romantic, but I got a little romance in me. So I took her to the top of the mountains and we sat there and we talked for about a solid, not long, probably a solid like 6 hours, you know, 6 hours we talked. And the
What
premise,
did we talk about though?
we talked about a lot of different things, but probably
Yeah.
like, I would say 20, 30 minutes into it, she tells me about her previous boy. So you gotta ask, fellas, you just gotta ask straight up. You got a man? She says no. I just got a relationship. She tells me about the relationship. And then she segues into why they broke up was over sex. And I was like, oh man.
There was
What-
some other stuff too, but that was like a big issue.
But in my head, I was like, oh, he wasn't doing it right. Now I really know it's finna go down. Like I know what's going on. Then she told me some other things and I was like, that makes sense. But the premise of it was because he wanted to have sex with her and she wanted to wait. So she says, Gary, I'm waiting until marriage. She says,
I'm a virgin.
I'm a virgin and my goal is to wait until marriage. That's how you said it to me.
Yes.
And so then I was like, dang, there's only one more important question I have to ask before I basically stop shooting my shot. Are you waiting for religious reasons? Because I'm not about to get involved with you and God, and let's say I try and make you do this and you end up hating yourself and you hate God, or whatever the process is. But she says, no, I'm not doing it for religious reasons. And so she told me the exact same story she just told you all. Kind of speeding things up. We had a great night together, and I kind of got home and...
Wait, before then, when I told you that, like literally what was your honest thought? Because you told me before. Well, I want you to say it on camera. You said
it was. I knew I could get it.
Eventually.
I know I can get it. I know I can crack. I know I can crack. Over time, I know I can. And that was the thought. And so, but seriously, I go home and I'm thinking like, damn man, this girl basically just told you, I'm not having sex till marriage, and if we gonna hang out, I only like to. She did tell me this. I only like to date people with the intention of marrying them, and I'm like. That's a lot for a 20-year-old girl to say. Like, that's crazy. So I'm internalizing it and trying to process that, but I still am talking to somebody else on the side as well.
But I'm sorry to cut you off one more time. But I did let him know. I said if that's something that you cannot do, then that's fine. We can still be friends.
Who want to be friends with all of this?
We can still be friends.
I got friends. And they don't look like this.
I'm just letting you know, if you do eventually see yourself dating me, this is something that we have to talk about or have to discuss. You have to be okay with not doing this.
So, speeding things up, a month into it, 3 months into it, a year into it, of course, people are always asking, hey G man, like, you and Kishana? I'm like, first of all, bro, no. Second of all, mind your business, okay? Oh, okay, you taking your time with this one. I'm like, no, I'm not taking my time. We're not having sex until we're married. And all my homeboys, except for I had like 2 or 3 solid homeboys, I'm not gonna say their names, but like 2 or 3 solid homeboys, these are my groomsmen. They was like, oh gee, I could get with that. Like, she said that? And I was like, yeah, she said that. Are you gonna do that? And I'm like, I don't even know. And it was like, all right, G, like, just let me know when you do. That was the big brother advice.
And then on the other side, flip side to that, there was people saying, oh, do you think like she's really saying that? She could be lying.
There was a lot of haters saying
trying to trap you.
She's just trying to get you to marry
her.
Like, I could tell by the way she talked, by the way she wear her hair. I seen the kind of toothpaste she uses. Oh my God, the type of lotion she uses, I just know, Gary. I know her order at Mickey D's. I'm telling you, she's not a virgin. No, don't no virgin really eat sweet and sour sauce like that.
Oh my gosh.
That's how the stupidest stuff in the world.
Stupid things.
So long story short, we end up going another year. So we dated, so a full year. We finally made it a year, and it was still tough. But at this point, she's spending the night at my house. We're hanging out with each other every day.
We got really comfortable with each other.
And so she's spending the night at my house.
He's staying at my house late night.
We're going on trips together.
Staying in hotel rooms together.
Constantly, and it's like not easy at all. Like at all.
I will say that I think you're like closer to the end of the second year, maybe third year, it was like getting really hard.
Yeah.
For you.
Because it's like, dude, like, come on, man. This is like, come on, for real. Are you serious? Like, you really meant that? Like, so it's one thing to say it, like, I'm a vegan, but you gonna tell me you don't never, if you weren't a vegan from the time that you were born, you don't look at a hamburger and be like, man, that look good. Like, come on, all this hamburger right here. Like, that's what I'm trying to get her to understand that this shit ain't easy. So she hits me with, why don't you join a church support group?
And I was like, I'm telling you, there's other people out there.
Of people, a community.
Who are waiting to have sex till marriage. I promise you,
I don't want to talk to them.
You are not the only one. You have to find someone to kind of help you.
I didn't want to talk to them.
Figure it out. And I was like, why don't we work out? Maybe ease, some of that.
She goes, blow off some steam, do some push-ups or something, and she would do this. Like, go do it. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
but I was trying to get him to understand. It's like, you're telling me like about sex and one, how like it's good or whatever, but then 2, you're saying how hard it is. It was like, I've never done it.
Yeah. So
that emotion doesn't even like come within me. Like of course everybody has those natural like desires, but I described it as going to Disneyland. Let's say like he's been to Disneyland since, I don't say since you're younger, but for a long time. Like He knows what it's like the moment he steps foot into Disneyland. He knows what rides he wants to go on.
It's a small world.
What restaurants he wants to eat at. Disneyland is just like the best thing on earth for him. And he's coming back and telling me, oh, you're gonna love Disneyland. It's so exciting. We can do this, we can do that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, yeah, sounds great, but I've never done it. I hope to go there someday. But since I've never done it, I don't have that desire to do it until I do it.
Right.
So that's how I kind of describe it to him. But I can tell when I say it was overwhelming for him, like almost every day we're talking about it. And to the point he got really frustrated with himself because he felt like,
damn, does this own me?
Yeah, does it own me?
Is this an addiction? Then you, oh my God, fellas, don't ever think.
I remember us having that conversation.
Do I got an addiction? It's like, hold on, wait, is this like crack? I've never done crack, but is this like crack? Like, am I having withdrawals like a year into it? Like, this is frustrating. What the heck is going on? So, long story short, I sat down with this one lady, we're not gonna say her name. I sat down with this one lady and she told me, Gary, what you're doing is honorable. That's huge. It's tough. Ain't no man gonna be able to do that. I know a couple of men that have tried, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, especially because you've been to Disneyland before and now you're going X amount of years not going to Disneyland, if you understand what I'm saying. So, long story short, she ends up saying, well, gee, soul ties are real. What if all of the people that you had been to Disneyland with had soul ties on you and they're trying to pull you in, like, and you could have very well put bad energy on your girl and she's just like, oh, the world is perfect and the sky is blue and the grass is green. Look at the butterflies. And I'm just sitting here like, I'm about to give you all of this demonic spirits like, from everybody I've been with. So she kind of said that to me and I was like, wow, I never thought of it that way. And so that's when it kind of shifted for me. I was like, you know what? If this is an addiction, I want to kick it. It wasn't an addiction. I was just overthinking everything. And when you're with somebody every day, you're like, man, I don't even want to kiss you no more because if I kiss you, I can't. Who wants to start a baseball game knowing you can't go like hit a home run? You can't run to home base. Who does that? Nobody. Nobody does that. We just go into the batting cage. Don't nobody do that for real, for fun. So long story short, man, 2 years into it, I actually meet my personal trainer. His name's Dion Hudson. And at the same time, I'm trying to do a lot of different things. Number one, I'm trying to grow a beard. We seen this meme that says 2 years later, she got thicker and he grew a beard. And I'm just like, man, if I could grow a beard, man, I would be the happiest kid in the world. I just need to grow a beard. And so I had mentioned that to Dion, and he says, why don't you try fasting from sex? And I go, well, I've been doing that for like 1.5 years and I'm not getting like literally nothing. And he was like, wait, hold on, wait, you're not having sex? I was like, no, I'm not having sex. He was like, oh, wow. That's crazy. And I'm like,
that sounds like him too.
Yeah, no, okay, let's get over that process. How do I grow the beard? And he's like, Mr. Big Beard. And I'm like, how do I grow the beard? And he was like, well, if you're not having sex already, have you tried like working out intensely, like raise your testosterone levels? And I was like, no, let's try it. So we start working out on a daily basis. Then the beard starts coming in. I start losing weight. I dropped like 60+ pounds. Like, boom, I got a beard now. And long story short, he kind of, by me working out with him and having somebody to talk to, because he was practicing semen retention, which I had never heard of. Then he's like, hey G, have you ever read the book Think and Grow Rich? And I was like, yeah, I've read it like 4 or 5 times. He goes, have you read chapter 11? I was like, who skips a chapter in a book? And he was like, so you know about semen retention? I was like, I probably didn't pay attention to that. So I go back and read it, and they said that most men don't achieve a high level of success at a young age because they're just being boys. They're sleeping with everybody. They're giving some of their strongest energy out. Some of the strongest energy God gives you is your sexual energy. You just have to be able to channel it and utilize it properly. So he then looks at me after I read the book and I read that chapter again, and it kind of made sense to me. He says, gee, you're in a position to really just kill it. Because think about it. Most people have no clue how to manage their body or their sexual urges. Now you know how to do that. You're like 2 years in. Why don't you continue to go hard in the gym and see where this takes you? Mm-hmm. So long story short, we got this thing going. Me and Kishana are now engaged with the intention of being married. The beard grows, so I'm happy. I dropped the weight, so I'm happy. And we just keep it going. But as this time is ending, I'm getting closer and closer to getting married, I have an epiphany. And I go, man, it was so much easier for me to manage what I eat. It was so much easier for me to fast 16, 18 hours a day. It was so much easier for me to cut out carbs and to cut out all the BS that everybody kind of consumes on a daily basis, because I mastered my sexual urges first. I suppressed those first. Now, it's not gonna be easy. Just like following a meal plan is not going to be easy. And I'm nowhere near the finish line with my fitness journey. But it became so much easier to follow that path because I had already tackled and set up sexual boundaries. So
and I would say it became easier on myself as well because, like I said, I wasn't a virgin. So it was like, okay, I have this guy, we're together, and he's telling me all his sexual frustrations. I'm like,
I'm not telling her all of my frustrations.
Well, I mean, well, we talked about it a lot.
But
I was just like, okay, like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, it just really came to that. It's like, what do you want me to do about it?
She knew what I wanted her to do.
What?
I'll tell you later.
I was like, there's nothing, like, I can do about it. Like, really, like, what do you want me to do? Like, we talked about marriage a little bit, but not really seriously talking about it.
Right.
But then when we did get engaged, it's like, okay, like, we're getting closer to that finish line. So now talking about sex became fun, I would say, to talk about. Like, oh man, like, yeah, it's like, what is it gonna be like? Like, you know, we talked about, oh, what if we were not compatible sexually? And you know, we waited this long, like, you know, what's gonna happen if something's just not right? It
became a real topic at that point.
Yes.
That we talked about all the time.
So then, after you want to jump to getting married or?
Boom, we got married.
Yeah, so we got married. So we've been married for a few months now. We got married in June of this year, 2020.
5 months married.
5 months married. And as you guys all know, we were in the middle of a pandemic. When I tell you I had my like fantasy, like wedding. This is what we're gonna do. Like when I said our wedding, we've been planning our wedding for over a year at that time. We were gonna have a 300 plus guest list. It was gonna be this magical, beautiful, amazing wedding at the Langham Hotel, Pasadena. And then we get hit with the coronavirus.
Boom, COVID-19 shuts it down.
I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
So June, so hold on, wait. We were supposed to get married June 26th.
27th.
27th?
Well, we always wanted the date June 2020. We were gonna get married that day regardless. And then we're gonna have a celebration with everybody the next weekend, which was June 27th, 2020. Yeah. But that got pushed back to September, and then it ultimately just got canceled altogether.
100%.
But I had in my head, we were gonna have this wedding and we were gonna leave like literally the next day, like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. flight, go to Maldives. And I just like had it pictured in my head that it was gonna be like petals everywhere in the room. And the place that we wanted to stay at was like those little huts that's on the water. And the doors were gonna be open where it'd be a little breeze. There's gonna be some R&B music playing in the background. I'm gonna have some cute little lingerie, and then, you know, it's just gonna happen. That's gonna be my fairy tale, my deflowering.
And then coronavirus just came and was like, come here, give me that.
And it didn't happen.
Airport shut down. Americans can't travel anywhere. You can't have a wedding. And I was like, oh.
So then we were like, okay, like that's okay. We can still go on our honeymoon. And so let's not go to the Maldives anymore. Let's just go to Bali because we want to go to Bali as well.
Yep.
And so
not accepting Americans.
Yeah. So then we're like, okay, we got married. We're already married in June. So by this time it is July, and I guess it is July. And I said, hey, we can go somewhere in August, and that can be our honeymoon. So let's go to Bali. Looked up Bali. And it's like absolutely not happening.
No flights. Everybody need to take a COVID test. She don't want to take a COVID test.
No, it was not then. Like then you can't go at all.
Oh, yeah,
and we're still
right.
kind of beginning.
She still don't want to take a COVID test.
And so I'm like, man. it's like I don't want to be selfish and have him continuing to wait because we're already legally married. And it was like, hey, do we wait to have our wedding next year, 2021? But it's like, I feel like that would be selfish on me.
Because we're going to be married.
Some more.
We're going to be married a year. And like, no, I'm not, fellas. No. That's where you take your foot.
No, but he really like valued. He really did value my.
I was gonna put my foot down.
My decision, and he was like secretly looking for places where we can possibly go as well and travel to. But it was like all shut down. So I had in my head, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna wait anymore. Like, we're married. I married an amazing guy. So
she threw in the towel.
I made it to what I said I wanted to wait to. So I kind of surprised him one evening / morning.
This is like
1 a.m.
But like a month after we're married.
Yeah.
So we're married and it's an elephant in the room. We're skating around it.
And then
boom, a wop bop a loop bop a wop bamboo.
So now here's the next section. The question: was it worth it?
Yeah.
You can't just say yeah.
Oh, okay then. No, it wasn't. Let me say it was worth it. It was worth it. I waited. The wait is over. Like Lil Wayne said, sorry for the wait. But I'm here now and we're good. So you realize that you spent all of the last 4 years stressing. Well, I didn't really spend all 4 years. That'd be a lie. But a large amount of time stressing about something that's so minute that really doesn't even matter. It's not, it matters, but it's not as big as you created it. The elephant just got bigger and bigger and bigger throughout the room, but it's whatever, man. But I'm glad I waited because it taught me a lot. I learned so much more about myself. It made me, meeting you, made me question my boundaries. I'd never been with anybody that had boundaries. And so it is what it is, man. But it's kind of cool. Yeah. It's kind of cool that this is the new phase of where we're at. And so, how do you want to end this video?
I still want to say something else.
Okay.
I will say, what do you mean, oh God?
What you gonna say?
You about to hear what I'm about to say right now.
Well, let me hear it.
What you oh God for?
Because I don't know what you're gonna say.
I will say, like that evening when things happen or whatever, not to say give you guys like TMI because you guys know what it is, but I will say like during the midst of it, it was this overwhelming feeling for me. It just felt so good knowing that I waited and that I waited for someone special because he waited for me. And I remember, I think I told you this before, well you did it. So I remember while that was happening, you was whispering in my ear and you said, I love you. Mm-hmm. And you said, thank you so much for waiting.
You know, I had to add this.
And I was like trying to like, not cry.
You gotta talk to him sometimes.
I was like,
fellas, you know.
You're welcome. But the cool thing I will say with waiting is that you get to, well for me, since I was a virgin, I literally get to explore with everything. And for him, he kind of gets to teach me and guide me on what, you know, he likes or, you know, try something new with me. Almost like you get to mold that person into what you want them to be if you're not a virgin. But all those insecurities, like, oh, what if, you know, he really wait this long, have sex with me, then leaves, like that went out the window.
I'm married, the contract's already signed.
People do that still.
I don't know.
What if, you know, we're not that compatible with each other, that went out the window. And it is trial and error. That's trial and error. That's with everybody because you're still learning each other's bodies and what works, what doesn't work, what feels comfortable, what doesn't feel comfortable. And you have to like constantly talk about it so it can be enjoyable, I guess, for both of you. Sex isn't the biggest thing in a relationship, but it is something that definitely should be talked about with each other. And coming from someone who waited, like I promise you, like it is worth the wait. You find out so much about each other during your dating phase. You find out their tempers, what their likes and dislikes are. I always tell people, it's like you guys hook up and you have sex and then what else is there to do? Like y'all just look at each other and then you wonder why your communication level isn't there because you kind of resort back to that sexual
Comfort zone.
Comfort zone, yeah.
Yeah, I think it caused us to communicate a lot more. So to talk about things that we weren't really even used to talking about, or but to talk about with each other, get to know each other. Everything outside of intimately, we just got to know each other. We spent time with each other, literally every day. We spent every day with each other throughout the time we started dating to the time that we got married, literally every single day.
And still now.
So 4 years of every day being with somebody, you're gonna end up being their best friend. So over the course of it, before we added that into it, we got to know each other. And then I kind of thought that was cool because I got a chance to know, okay, cool, like if we do get married, this is the kind of girl I want to be with. Like, it's just a different contrast than saying, okay, cool, we hooked up one night and that's our comfort zone. That's what we're going to go back to doing. That's what we're going to do on a daily basis versus I got to know her, spent time with her. I know what she likes, what she doesn't like. I know what she likes to eat, what she doesn't like to eat. I know how to make her happy, know how to make her mad. I know how to keep her in that in between. Like, it's just, you learn so much more about a person when your relationship doesn't revolve around that. So,
and I will say on a quick note, I think there's a comfort level as well once you do marry your best friend, or you marry the person you know who you're meant to spend the rest of your life with. When you're having sex, females kind of maybe go through this well, but I think from a man's standpoint, the moment, let's say if you weren't protectively, having sex, and the moment you guys are done, you're thinking like, dang, I hope she's not pregnant. But when you're with someone, when you're married, and you're with the person who you want to be with,
like,
if it happens, it happens, because that's your wife, that's your husband.
I hope she is pregnant. She's not, but I'm just saying, like, you say stuff like that. Like, I wish somebody would.
Because like it's okay, like that fear of worrying goes out the window.
Right.
So
that's the video. We're gonna end it there. If you want to know some more, talk to Kishana because it's her conversation. I'm just here because she wanted me to be here. So y'all have a good night. I got appointments to do. I should have been in my mom's house like an hour and a half ago, but Kishana wanted to do this video, and I didn't want to.
That's serious.
I just want to tell people the truth, right? Communication is key.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't want to do a video.
But if you guys have any questions down below, please feel free to comment about this topic. If you want us to stand on something as well, we'll surely do it. So
she'll surely do it.
We'll do it together.
I'm gonna be living my life.
He'll do it with me.
I got a lot to
catch up. Yeah, so we just want to give you guys, our reasoning on our advice on why to wait to have sex to marriage. And
really,
we hope
not advice. It's not advice.
Well,
it's
our story. We're
go.
giving advice through our story, through our experience. So I hope that helped somebody. And we will see you guys later.
I got to go. I'm
Bye.
hungry.